I'm infant massage instructor Helen Thompson. Hello and welcome to First Time Mums Chat. Being a parent for the first time is challenging and changes your life in every way imaginable. To help ease your transition into parenthood, I aim to offer supportive, holistic approaches and insights for mums of babies aged 4 weeks to 10 months old. My goal is to assist you to become the most confident parent you can and smooth out the bumps along the way. This podcast is brought to you by My Baby Massage, so let's do this together. This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Please contact a medical practitioner if you are concerned or have any medical issues. When I ask parents about their experience with tummy time, their reaction is often negative, with comments such as they don't like it or they only want to remain on the tummy for a few seconds. In my last podcast episode, which was all about tummy time, I shared some ways to motivate your little one. After receiving even more questions from anxious parents, I've put together some further tips for babies that are aged from 0 to 4 months in this episode. I know a lot of you are just getting started on your motherhood journey, and a lot of you have very small babies. We all know that babies are not quite capable of doing practical life activities. A lot of you may be wondering, well, what can I do with my baby to begin the developmental journey? Well, that is a very good question. At this early age, your baby is developing and learning so much in this short span. They are beginning to wake up and take in the environment around them. When they hit the 3 months mark, they really start to pay attention to everything that is going on around them. They discover everything through their senses, so everything is a new experience for them. So as a parent, anything you can do to capitalize on that is going to be a good thing, right? So let me share some amazing natural activities that you can do to inspire that little bundle of joy to enjoy playtime, whether it be on their back or on their tummy. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you some great natural activities that you can do with your baby between the ages of 0 to 4 months. As I already mentioned, babies at this age are curious about the world around them. This might include visual stimulation, things that they can hear, as well as things that they can touch with their hands. There is one really important thing to consider at this stage. They are beginning to start work on hand control. They do not quite have the ability to manipulate things with their fingers, which is called the pincer grasp, by the way. They will develop this a little bit later on, but just a quick note, pincer grasp is the coordination of the index and the thumb to hold an item, and it is a fine motor skill. At this age, they are learning to grasp with the whole hand. You have no doubt seen your baby holding onto your finger and not wanting to let go. This is what I'm talking about. They are learning to reach out for things that they see in their environment, that they find interesting. They will eventually get to the stage where they will reach out and grasp what they are looking for. Once they have achieved that, the world is their oyster. In my last podcast 016, I shared with you some tummy time activities. Some of the activities I'm about to share with you can also be done during tummy time, but especially if your baby is not keen on tummy time. It is important to remember that tummy time is always baby-led. These activities are designed to provide a very rich sensory experience for your baby, and they will also help with hand-eye coordination. You can still use some of the activities you used when they were newborns, but on a slightly different level. For example, activities you can start to introduce as a mobile. There are many of these on the market, or you can make up your own. Set them up just out of your baby's reach, and they will provide a visual stimulation for your baby, and it may encourage them to reach out and grab it, although at this stage they may just bat it with their little hands. For example, they may still be very interested in high contrast cards. By that I mean black and white objects. So you can place some black and white objects as a mobile and lie them on their backs. This way you will be encouraging them to look up. If you place them on a rolled up towel on their tummy and place them slightly to one side, they will need to turn their neck to look at them. So you're encouraging them to turn their head and develop neck and shoulder control. The advantage of these are that you can use them for tummy time activity or an activity when they are on their back. And later on, when they get older, you can add them to a treasure chest activity by just cutting off the strings, so you're not wasting anything. You can also print some black and white objects from the internet and laminate them, and they're also a great activity for your baby. If you want to buy them, you can look on Etsy. That's a great resource. Or just look on the internet and put in black and white objects for babies. The other thing that you can give your baby at this stage is a crinkly tangle of toy. Babies love to hear noises around them, and this is a great way to develop their senses. You can buy some amazing things on Amazon and Etsy. Or if you're inclined, you can make them yourself. You can also make up your own treasure chest. I would suggest keeping it on one theme. For example, a basket that has wooden things in it, i.e. wooden egg, a small wooden salt spoon, or you can just have simple things like scarves, see-through ones, silk ones. This is a great thing to have on hand, and when they are on tummy time, as you can play peekaboo with it. These are just a few of many things that you can do with your baby at this tender age. If you type in treasure chest for babies on Google, you will get lots and lots of great ideas. The next one I really want to mention, which is a really important thing to do, is to take your little one outdoors. It is also a great way to stimulate their senses. I do not just mean pushing them in a pram, although I'm not saying that is not okay. This may be obvious, but I am going to say it anyway. Please make sure that you protect your baby with sunscreen, as they have very sensitive skin, no matter what part of the world you live in. It is important to be careful of their delicate skin and make sure they're warm or cool, whichever climate you're in. If you really want to stimulate their senses when you take them outside, lie them on a blanket in the shade and let them feel the wind blow around them, and let them feel the texture of the grass under the blanket. If you really want to be adventurous, let them feel the grass with the little toes. You can also do tummy time outside as well. Put a rolled up blanket underneath them so they can see what is going on. This will also encourage them to lift up their head and strengthen their neck and shoulder muscles. One final thing is sensory balls set. You can use plastic balls with lots of different textures and shapes, or you can use material shaped balls. I prefer the natural approach of material shaped balls with different textures, but you can use whatever suits you. Just type in sensory balls on Google and you will have lots and lots of choices to choose from. To conclude, I would like to add some things that you can do to help your baby if they are finding tummy time difficult. But, as I keep saying, please remember that tummy time is baby-led, and doing short bursts at a time and gradually building it up is much better than doing none at all. If you are stressing about tummy time, you are not alone. Some babies find it hard at first, and these tips are to assist you to build it up so your baby learns to love tummy time. Here are 3 tips that you could do to help that process. Tip number 1. Roll up a towel and place it under their arms and across their chest. This helps them to lift up their head. Tip number 2. If your baby is new to tummy time and is under 4 months, you can place them on your chest. You can make this easier by increasing the recline you are lying on. For example, place 2 or 3 pillows under your head and shoulders. That way you are increasing the recline of your baby, and it will be easier for them to lift their head once they are lying on your chest. It is also a great way for them because you are interacting with them, and babies love to have that interaction with you, and you're also bonding with them. They are very, very sociable little cherubs. They love to be close to you. Once they get more confident, you can decrease the decline, and this will make it a bit harder for them. Tip number 3. You can also do this with them lying on your lap and support them at all times. You can raise your knee slightly. This will help to gain confidence, and again, you are supporting them and interacting with them. I hope you found what I shared on Tummy Time helpful, and that you start including it in your daily routine. I've put together a free cheat sheet where I demonstrate some Tummy Time moves. You can access it from the episode notes, which are accessible at mybabymassage.net/podcast/017. Thank you so much for listening.